Well, hello there.
Hello, how's it going?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Good, very good. It's a bit cold in my room. I'm right next to the window, and
Yes, that's.
yeah,
Thanks for
gonna
reminding
go.
me. I'm going to switch off my fan so it's not disrupting the microphone. Right. Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Oh, yeah, sure. My name is Christian, and I live in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and I work with you at GitHub. We work
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
I think we got hired around the same time, so we've both been there for like
mm,
5+ years.
yeah, 5.5 years. Yeah. And I think you are my fourth or maybe fifth GitHub colleague on the stream
Oh,
because
nice.
I'm too lazy to network beyond my immediate peers. I'm just like, you work with me, you can come on the stream. We
Yeah,
we
yeah.
pair constantly. You could just do that in front of a camera instead. Okay, so
Front of a huge audience.
yes, yeah, in front of a live studio audience. So no swearsies. This is a family show. Um, yeah, so this is we're building 24 web components. Yesterday, we built the slider input, and it's available. This new header needs a bit of work. I also realised I need to click this and turn off the site admin. There we go. This is the
It's a
24,
link.
yeah, 24 web component slider input element. So please go check it out if you haven't already. We're going to build a new component. We're going to create a new repository. It's going to ask me to single sign on. I knew I was going to do this every time.
Should you need to add this to your pre-flight checklist.
Yes, good idea. Right, let me detach the window, go do the single sign on dance.
There's a bunch of people watching. Well, I'm one of them actually. So there's,
Yes.
I guess three people besides me.
We don't know what component we're doing because we need to pick one. Do you want to click the button or shall I?
You should do it. I don't think I can. Can I?
You can't. I don't know if you have access to my tree view. Tree view. We're going to build tree view today. So tree view element. What do you think a tree view is?
I always think of like a file directory, but it's also it's like I, it's like in discrete mathematics from uni where it's like you have a tree, you have nodes, right? And
Bold of you to assume that I went to uni or did discrete mathematics. But
sorry. Oh, both. Yeah. But it's like you got a graph essentially, or it's not a graph. Well, it's a
it's a tree.
sub item. Yeah. Like it's technically a graph, but it's a type of graph called a tree where it like has a root node, and then it like has hierarchy from there.
Is that is that a tree? Is this a different
Great
thing?
question.
No,
I think it's the same thing, right? Like this picture there, like that could be represented as a file system, or like this could be a file system represented by a tree.
Interesting.
I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I went to uni, but I've tried to like give a concrete answer to this. Where like I always think of like a file structure. Like obviously we both had worked at GitHub. Like we think about like repositories all the time and like the file structure of that. But it's also like what was I gonna say? Like data structures like JSON or YAML or stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree. That is exactly what we're going to build.
So I guess we're gonna build like a generic component, and then we could either write other components like a file or a directory view that utilize that component, and then like a JSON view and whatnot, YAML view.
That sounds like a great idea. So let's. So this is going to be a tree view. Tree view. Right, and then we want to change custom element to tree view element. My viewers will be very used to this now, this refactoring. I feel like I'm getting pretty fast at it actually as well.
I really wish GitHub would allow you to put in like variables into your template repository, and then you could like fill that out, and it would like clone it with it correctly.
That would be great. Yeah.
You know, this isn't a huge hassle, but I always like miss one, like in the documentation where it's like an example custom element.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've realized as I clean these up and publish them, there's always like 5 different things that are missing, and it's like different each time. Like I'll miss the documentation, I'll miss like the package JSON, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we just want to get it working. So we've got the wave. So we want to change this. How are we going to represent a tree view here? That is the question.
There's 2 things that come to mind for me. I mean, the knee jerk is JSON as like a JavaScript object, but I don't think that is correct.
Yeah.
A more verbose, but I think more correct would be to structure it as HTML elements.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Sorry,
Nojo said create an action that fills the variables after the repo is cloned. That is a really cool idea. I might have to experiment with that. I wonder if you could also have it such that the action deletes itself, like it deletes the workflow, so that everything is just like in one commit of like.
Yeah. Just rebases itself out, like out here.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
Okay, so if we're gonna have tree view, so I guess there's 2 things that we have. One is a branch and one is a leaf. So we could say like we could define new elements like tree branch and tree leaf. Do you think that is useful though? Because the other thing is that, I mean, these are just lists, right? We could just look at a hierarchy of lists. So like the root node, no, that's OL. The root node is an OL, and then we have subsequent OLs inside, which might also include. But then, well, yeah, how do we?
Yeah, like why wouldn't you do this?
Why wouldn't you do this? Well, it's less likely that you would have direct control of each of the descendants, and so the formatting is kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting, I guess. Maybe that's not a problem.
What if we did I'm thinking like what if we did like a little file structure here as like an example, and we could start with that, where it's like there's like a package JSON at the top level. Right. Just like because this is essentially what we're gonna do, right? Like that view, but in HTML.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I know there's a better way to do this, but I'm just gonna do this.
That's
and
great.
we'll just copy this snapshot. I'll just install the modules back again, and then at least we've got this. So we don't like the interesting bit is like a couple of files in the root directory. Like something like this is I guess the most useful example, right? It might even be better to have a couple deeply nested. So in that case, well, we'd have like an examples directory, I suppose. And this would have a list inside there with the index HTML. And then the next one would be license, and this is just a flat.
I will not be able to concentrate until you close the tag on
this
line 13. Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to. Maybe.
I could not hear what you said. It's just like, sorry.
So I'm not sure what we're really going to do from here on out, though, because this is fine, but I feel like this is like this feels very manual.
Like, are we just making like ordered lists again, or unordered lists?
Right.
I guess this is an ordered list, but
like we now have well, this didn't work at all, which is interesting.
Have you saved it?
Yeah.
Oh, you have saved it.
Oh, wait. I need to save this. And there we go.
I mean, the top level one should be collapsed. That's like one difference.
You want to start with it all collapsed, do you think?
I think so, yeah, because I mean, if you had node modules, for example, in there, should that all be expanded in the initial? I mean, that could be an option where you're like, actually, I do want it expanded, but I think the default should be collapsed.
This reminds me very much of the details disclosure widget, right? Where we would have something like open. So this would actually be a details. Oops. Details. And then this would be the summary.
Mm-hmm.
But then we would have to move this up here. And then this would be a details again.
Yeah.
And this would be the summary. Well, I guess actually now this is a node. You can still use lists but nest them in details. Yeah, like we could what you're saying, Nojo, is keep the lists and just have this as a details. I think that the problem with that is details has to have a summary as a direct child, but that would just become a directory, I guess. So then the list, I guess the list becomes this. So we have a details element, which is the examples directory with an index HTML inside it, and then the files down here. So we'd have details here. Again, this is a summary tag. I mean, I'm just writing HTML at this point. There's not even web components here.
I'm wondering if we should, like, obviously we don't want, well, maybe not obviously, but I don't think we should, like, that's not the API of this component where like, oh, just write all these details, and if it happens to be a leaf, then you do like an LI.
Right.
Like, there's an API here where like you just give it the structure and the component renders like this. It, you know, if it's a leaf, it doesn't do a details, but if it is a branch, it does do a details.
Yeah.
Or even like not even details, just like JavaScript behavior to toggle it or whatever we would like for it to be.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess we go back to this discussion that we had at the very beginning, which is like, what if we had a tree branch and a tree node or a tree leaf? We're still representing this as entities. The other thing we could do is we could have a flat list of nodes and we just build up the tree based on their association. Like if we just had like a flat list of like tree leaf examples index.html, and then this is now the kind of branch structure, and so we just have a flat file listing. But I don't know if that is putting us too closely to the
like the file structure,
like the file structure, yeah, because, and maybe this is go on.
For JSON it would be like, you know, services dot something dot something dot something, and then you just put the value for it, and you
Yeah.
just do that for the whole thing.
Yeah, and so this is what I was thinking is like if we had a tree view that we could feed a blob of JSON, what would that look like? I think that would look very different.
Yeah.
So maybe the right thing here is to not do this. But then I'm not sure.
What if we if we had the lists like we had before, like not the detail stuff, and then the component, what's the word I'm looking for? Like converts that to a details list, like soup. Like the input you give it is just lists like we had earlier, which seemed to be not very complicated. Like you could see the structure and the markup, but then it gives you like the component provides you with that interactivity, and you could give it options to be like expanded and collapsed and all that.
I think at that rate, I feel like if we're gonna detach from the tree that we provide in any way, I think I would rather just forget about doing it as HTML. And like, I mean, we could go way back to this.
Oh, and just like
what about, I mean, I'm not suggesting that this is something we genuinely entertain, but like, what about just parsing this? I think that kind of thought exercise of like, if we were to just parse this, I mean, we're looking at JSON in a different format. Maybe this whole thing is just that this is a JSON view.
Yeah. Maybe I often think it's really helpful to like I often think it's really hard to start with like the generic piece, and often it's like good to write the concrete piece and then extract the generic piece out of it. So maybe we just write a JSON view or a file view, and then see of like we keep the thing in the back of our minds that we want to extract this into a more general component. And once we're done with the JSON view or file view, we start looking at like refactoring and extracting the general pattern out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
So we could start with JSON.
So we could change this to a JSON view.
Yeah. I have to rename everything.
Oh no. Yeah. JSON view element.
Just need another action. That's like rename action.
Rename everything in the project. So this JSON view. I think if we had like a script type application JSON, and then if we just read that, I guess. So in here, let's say prop.
Excuse me. It's really interesting too to do the script type application JSON, because you could do like script type application YAML or something in the future.
Yeah, and have YAML trees.
Cool.
Just have everything. This can just parse any format, TOML, YAML.
Yeah, could write. Yeah, could have like plugins where like, you know, if it doesn't. Yeah, well, we're going ahead of ourselves, but yeah. Sorry.
So we've got some JSON. We can read that. So why don't we actually like start writing some custom element stuff? So we can say, why don't we say this.json is going to be this.query selector script type application /JSON text content. And I need to define JSON, which is just a string. It probably shouldn't be a string. It should probably be a
Object,
JSON.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a record.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to type it as any, and no one can stop me. So we should parse this as JSON. So maybe we should actually make this a getter. So get JSON. JSON parse. And let's console log what we've got. Let's see what we've got. Console log this.json. Okay, that worked. We have our deeply nested objects. This is what we want. We just want to build this. Can I inspect this? Can I just steal this component?
Could you? Yeah.
So I guess what we want to do is like we want to have a render route. Render to, which is a shadow DOM or a shadow root. So we're going to say this dot render route is going to be attached shadow mode open, and then we need to build the HTML. So I feel like we want a function that does this.
Do you in these streams? I've watched some of them, but not all of them. Is it all vanilla stuff, or do you ever bring in like, well, here's like a HTML builder library?
I wouldn't dream of it. This is all vanilla.
I see. Okay.
There are no dependencies in these elements. We're gonna stretch our legs and write code like our forefathers did.
Yeah, we're roughing it in the wilderness.
The pyramids weren't built with Vue.js. They were built using manual DOM manipulation, or something. I don't know. This is going to return some HTML. I guess this is going to return a document fragment.
Yeah.
So we know we can make a fragment. Document create fragment. Create document fragment even. We're going to return that. Okay, we're one step closer to having our built HTML. Let's have a look. Let's see if we got a shadow root. We've got a shadow root. It's empty at the moment, but it will be full of stuff.
So we could just dump the stuff in the JSON into the fragment just to see it render.
Sure. Text content equals this.json. Well, I guess now we need to JSON stringify it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sort of worked. So I guess we want to iterate through every single top level key.
Yeah.
So
this is going to be
for const key of. Well, I guess we could also have the key and the value. Object entries. This.json. And then I'm going to call build node key value build node, and then I think I have a scary feeling that we're going to get into some real recursion here, and I guess we want to say fragment dot append this dot build node.
Don't not is how I'm choosing to read this username.
DNTNT I've been calling this person with wrap with a pre.
DNTNT.
DNTNT.
Yeah.
I don't know. How would you say your handle, DNTNT?
I read it as don't not. I think
Don't not.
Don't not. I don't know. It's like all the vowels are out, right? Yeah, we could put a pre in this, like the fragment, I guess. But
right.
We can do that later as well.
Exactly
DNTNT.
like I'm
Okay.
saying. DNTNT.
Yeah, I had it wrong. That's good.
Is it a reference to anything? I'm not sure. I feel like I'm gonna be deleting this soon, but we'll see what happens. So we have a key and a value. So the key is a string. It should always be a string, and the value is unknown, I suppose. And we'll figure out Like we can intentionally type this as unknown so we can figure out what type it is.
Sure, yeah.
So let's just fragment.append key. We can append a string and we get prop, which is cool.
Yeah.
So we could say if type of value is an object, then we want to not just append the key, I guess we want to then create a details element. And so this is going to look like, what is this going to look like? We want to
Like you want to
create an element, details. We want a summary,
yeah.
and then we want to set the text content of the summary to the key. We want to append the summary to the details. I guess we could just return the details at this point.
Yes, but don't you want to recursively call build node with the value?
Exactly.
Like and append all that to the details as well. Probably after the summary. Like, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter where the summary is in the list, but
it doesn't. I don't know why I said it doesn't. I'm kind of making that up. It does matter where it is in relation to the details. I'm not sure if it matters where it is in the list. Like, I don't think it has to be the first child.
I don't think so either. It's more like a preference. It's like one of those things that you do that annoys me.
Like what?
Just can you put line 40?
Like
yeah,
this?
thank you. Oh my god. Whew. Sorry. It doesn't matter in terms of the code, but I'm just like, oh god, I can't look at that. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Right, we're shadowing the value variable, which this doesn't like.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that content. Another vague name.
But key. Yeah. So key is still shadowed though.
Key is also shadowed. What should we call this? Well, I guess what we could do is not give this a name. Let's call this item, and then this could just be spread here.
Sure.
What is it saying now? What is it like? No overload matches this call. Oh, because this is an unknown, or this is an object, I guess.
An object or null. This is something I was going to bring up. Is like the type of value can be tricky, right? Because null is an object type.
Yeah, the type of null returns the string object, which is from like ECMAScript 1 and is something that was we tried to change it, I think, in ES6, and it did not go well.
This is actually great, like how TypeScript helps you with that, where it's like, this thing that you're saying is just an object. Yes, that is correct, but this can also be null because of how things work. So that's really great.
So it looks like we've got a working tree, I guess. So the summary here is prop. The summary here is deep, and then the summary here is nested, and then this doesn't have anything because reasons. So I'm not really sure why this doesn't have anything.
It doesn't have any, like, the for loop that appends the rest of it. It doesn't return anything because value is empty.
I thought value was an array. Yeah, see, we're getting these undefines. Type of value should be in an array here, but instead we're getting 3 undefines.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was the end of it. Yeah. I forgot the structure of it. It's supposed to be what, like 1, 2, 3?
Yes, I guess so. Yeah.
So Does that console log out? Yes. Okay. So what is type of value? Can you add that to the console log?
That should be object still. Type of
Number.
No. Oh, okay. We're building the node. Yeah, and we're getting a key of 0 and a value of. So at this point, we want to. Well, at this point, we're kind of too late because we don't know whether or not this is an array. This is just. We're like within the array, and we've just got a key of 0, and the property is the value is the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually we want to check array as array value here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we pretty much want to build the same thing, I guess, but instead of this we can say, I mean, for now I'm very tempted to just stringify the array pretty much, just to see what we end up with. So like details, append value.join, comma.
Wait, is this?
It doesn't like this because it's not a document fragment. If I did this as a node, lacks a return. There you go. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out later. That's something. So this is cool. So we've got this now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tweak our JSON a bit to be a bit more interesting. So let's say A, B, C. D.
And we could write this as a to-do or like a mental note, but I'm interested in how what is it called? Self-referential loops would work.
Like circular references.
Circular references. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, JSON doesn't have circular references. JavaScript does, but because this is a JSON already, it cannot have a circular reference.
Okay, cool, nice.
So we dodged that entire bullet. This isn't cool. Like console log. So console log, if I said like x equals an object and x.y is equal to x, if I try and console log or even in the interpreter, it's going to return this. It should eventually say, oh, it doesn't. It just lets me unfurl this to infinity. But certainly on the command line, where you don't have this interactive unfurling of things, you'll be told that it's a circular reference. If I did the same code in Node.js, it would just come up circular reference.
If you just do JSON stringify on this, it would blow up?
That's a good question. I think it would, yeah.
That's the thing I was like...
Get a call stack, or... Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
It does detection. I thought it would blow the stack, but it detects that it's a circular reference.
This is top of mind because I had this issue with something recently, so I was like, oh, we gotta watch him for that. But great, yeah, it's good we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's I'm kind of all too familiar with this because I maintain Chai, which is a testing library, and we have a library called Loop, which effectively it works like util inspect in Node, where or the console here, where you can kind of give it a value and it will print out like a kind of syntactical expression of that value. So if you pass in an object, it will give you like object notation. The idea being that you could almost copy and paste this, and you'd get this object back. Maybe not the same memory reference, but like close enough to it. But of course, for these simple cases, it's very easy to just like regex should look like a regex. But when you have like circular references and classes and functions and all these kinds of things, it can get very messy very quickly. So yeah, Circular references are a bit of a sticking point. But JSON's nice and simple. JSON has like three types.
Cool.
PHP's print R adds recursion for circular refs. Does it, when you say it adds recursion, do you mean you get infinite lines that say recursion, or it just says recursion once and doesn't print anymore? That's what I want to know. Sorry, Chris, you were saying something. I interrupted.
Oh, I was just gonna say, maybe this is a prints out recursion, stops print. Yeah. I'm wondering. I feel like I say about things that annoy me all the time and hijack the stream, but it's starting to annoy me that these aren't indented. I wonder if you want to work on that next, because I think that's like a big part of the tree view.
Absolutely, we can work on that. Yeah. I guess a really quick way to do that would be to rely on selector inheritance.
Yes, I was hoping we could do something cool with just CSS instead of some JavaScript bullshit.
Yeah. So we can call replace sync. I'm gonna do a little trick that I like to do. String.raw. Whoops! If I can type string.raw.
Wow.
And this will give me some nice syntax highlighting. So we can say details should just have margin left 1 rem. I don't know why it's all the way indented this way. That's a bit too much indent for me. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Padding. Yes, padding would work. And sorry, we should be cool kids and use padding inline start. Yeah, that didn't work at all either. Maybe I'm being too much of a cool kid.
Do you not need to inject anything? Is this just injected onto the page?
Yes, we also need to adopt this style sheet. That is a very obvious thing that I should have also remembered. Thank you, in the root. Adopted style sheets should equal, not that. Oh god, not that. It should just equal the style sheet. And now we have.
Oh hell yeah!
It's it was that easy. Interestingly, these aren't indented.
Yeah, because they're not details. You could do
detail star. What were you thinking?
I was gonna say details.
Oh, that didn't work.
Like details, comma, details, direct child selector, star.
Like this.
Yeah.
I think it's because this is a text node and you can't style text nodes.
Yeah, just wrap it in a span.
If I said span document, span document create element, and then if this became span and then details append span.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Does this work?
Oh. It has the padding. Is this because this is an inline element? Have I picked exactly the wrong element to use for this? No. Isn't that peculiar?
So it is being indented by the exact same amount as summary. Doesn't it just need to be like not summary or something? Or like if it's not summary, like double it?
Yeah, if we want to style the summaries to be different, I think we want to say exactly what you're saying, like zero out the summary. Yeah, this looks great now. I mean, ship it, right? This is we've done it.
Yeah. Okay, that's really cool. This is
So
there's stuff that what are we on time? Okay.
Yeah,
there's a few things that I would really like.
Okay.
And you can let me know if they're more or less important than the things you would like. I'm thinking like icons, and I'd also just kind of want to put like open props into this, like I like to do with a lot of stuff. But I don't know. What do you think? Just to style it a little bit better. We could also just style it. I guess no third parties, right?
I'm interested in the. What do you mean by icons? What kind of icons do you want?
So actually, I would like there to be, the details thing is all right, but I kind of want there to be like plus buttons, like small plus buttons.
Okay.
And then,
so we can just say we can target the marker, and then we can say content plus, and there's your plus button.
Yeah. And then
what more could you want?
I would like details open summary marker
minus. Can we add font family monospace to that? We can add whatever CSS anyone wants with this. Should we add it to the host?
Sure, yeah.
Font family monospace. There you go, TNT.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is looking real cool now. Uh-oh. This needs a direct descendant selector.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
perfect.
This is production ready.
Yeah.
Of course, if this has really long arrays, that's going to be horrendous. And I imagine, I mean, not to ruin our work, but if this were to be a string, I think things would go wrong very quickly.
I want to know what strings look like.
Strings look like undefined because we need to like exhaustively check all of these, and so it's not a type of object. A string is a type of string. So we want to say value.
So you say exhaustively check, but JSON is like
another else thing we could. Yeah, we could just well, sorry.
I was just going to say, like, the types that are representable in JSON are like less than the types in all of JavaScript, right? Like it's strings and numbers and arrays and
objects and null.
Yeah, I mean we have objects already.
Yes, we have arrays already.
Null
and so we just need null objects. We just need null, string, and number.
Yeah, Boolean. Yeah, Boolean as well. Yeah. So
Boolean. Sneaky little Boolean there, tricking us. Okay, so we got Boolean, and then we have literally null. So a string, number Boolean, and null are the same.
In that, just writing it out, like.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as array? Like, oh, I guess not. Well,
we've got these.
We give it a little.
And we probably just want to return a span. For these types, I guess.
Yeah.
Where the text content is just the value, and I mean we could get even a little fresh here. We could add the type of the value. Whoops.
Yeah.
As a class, and then this is just going to be return span. And then this is going to be the same thing, but I guess we're going to add quotes to it.
Yeah.
Like so. I really want to open these out now. I want this open by default. So I guess details. Whoops. Details open equals true. And the same
details
here.
Open equals this dot get attribute. This dot has attribute expanded.
Has attribute expanded?
Yeah, so you instead of doing true there.
You want to have like a expanded attribute here. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to say get expanded. This has attribute expanded. return. And then these are going to be this dot expanded.
Yeah.
They're going to be expanded or not expanded? They are going to be expanded, aren't they? Oops. And so if we take this off, yeah, very cool, very
nice.
cool.
This
This
I'm
isn't
also noticing
working.
that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think
just-
we actually want to always create a details and the summary, and the key. Whoops, the key is always going to be in the summary, and this is also going to be true. And then the span, like the whatever the value is, depends on what ends up getting appended, I think. So we always want to return the details, and so this can all go. Yeah,
Correct.
I think so, because well, hopefully we will see. So this is going to say details append span, and this is going to say details append span. If I can spell details right.
Yeah. See. So. That's interesting.
This is
So you
correct. What I think we're missing as well, though, is a summary should be. I don't know if this is going to work very well, but a summary should be inline block.
Oh.
That did not work very well because the marker seems to have disappeared from it.
It did the other thing, though, which is cool. I did not expect this to work at all. What that says about me. Oh, yeah.
Right, and so then
Oh, cool.
all we need now is summary after with a colon, and now this is suddenly making a bit more sense. Now we've got a real shippable product. This is hello San Francisco VC community. I would like my $1 million check, please.
Is are there two spaces after the colon, or is it just one?
I think
is
it's
it
just because of the padding. Because
okay.
these spans.
Oh,
also
because
got
they're
the padding.
padded. Yeah. Okay.
We could change this to summary. Nope, we couldn't. We could change this to details, and then we get a slightly different. Like these.
Okay.
it's a bit more
Now you can
compact
add the
now.
space back in, right? Like in the after, because now it's too close.
Oh, it's too close. But I think the space is irrelevant. The space just gets chewed up by the interpreter.
Okay.
And so I think, if anything, it is to do with the indent here, this rem indent.
Yeah.
So we could change this to like anything gets a 0.5 rem. Whoops. And then this details get a whole rem. And then we get a little bit of indent.
Could we make the colon disappear when you collapse the details?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we just really what we want to do is just have this here, right?
Hell yeah, yeah. Nice.
Null isn't getting typed, interestingly, and that is because I think we need to stringify this. Whoops. And now this should be. Wait a second.
Now you don't have null. Do
This
you?
is an and that needs to be an or, right? And then this needs to be not value or, and now we have a null.
Add a boolean and then
Yes, let's
see
add
that
a
word.
Bool
excuse me.
is true. Uh-oh. We need the
Did
commas.
it crash?
No, I
okay.
missed a comma. Which makes me think maybe we should have the commas too.
Oh.
It feels like that's going to be the and the next half hour of our lives is figuring out when to put the comma. Yeah.
I think I agree with DNT. DNT and DNT. I can't say this. DNT NT. I don't like the comma.
Yeah.
What was it that I did like? I was just thinking it. Oh, if you give it malformed, if parsing the JSON fails, maybe we can just be like, error could not parse JSON.
Yeah. So if we have malformed JSON like we just did, we get nothing. And that is because of this here.
Yeah, well, I guess it's on line 42 where we do JSON parse, where it throws. Well, oh yeah, you can try catch it there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I was thinking if we try catch it here, let's say null, try JSON equals this dot JSON, catch E. Well, yeah, catch E. I guess we could actually move this into here.
Hmm.
And then we can say const span is document create element span. Span class list add error. Span.text content error dot message return span.
Is it because it's not a fragment? You getting an error on that?
Right, this is node again.
What is happening? I mean, you get some error, which I assume. Oh, error is not defined because you did.
Because I called it error. Yeah. Why doesn't it like this catch? Try as expected. Yeah, it's right there. That is the try. I think this is my editor just wiping me out. So we've got an error. Let's try TNT suggestion of adding some colors. So we could say.
You added the type to the class, right?
Right. So Boolean. What color is a Boolean? Yellow. Number.
Could you do? Is it possible in CSS to do like Boolean content false is red and Boolean content like? I don't think it is, but
I don't think it is.
okay.
We got orange booleans. Let's have a. We didn't even. Oh, we did do numbers here.
Yeah, but they're not.
But
Yeah,
they're not typed. We cheated with the arrays. We massively cheated with the arrays. That is something that we could explore if we had more than 8 minutes left.
yeah.
Let's type the null. The null is going to get a different class list.
It's gonna have object. Yeah.
Let's just say value equals null. Else the type of the value, and then we can say a null.
Yeah.
Is it grey or is it grey? Vote in the comments now. Grey with an E or grey with an A?
I always type gray with an A, but I feel like is that the American in me?
I think that is American English, and
Ooh.
grey, or as I would like to pronounce it, grey is the UK English.
The original English.
The original OG English. Yeah, 1.0 exactly. Strings. What are strings? Blue?
Strings are blue. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This is looking great. Red for a string. Okay, we can do red for a string. Okay. Is there anything else that this really needs? That this is really crying out for?
I don't think so. This is like usable. I'm sure there's like, we're using the demo. Like I'm sure, like you said, a long array. I think like handling arrays better would be really great. And there's probably more stuff to do, but this is like very usable for like an hour's work. And
Yeah.
you know, we could work on this more, but like for the time.
What if an
think
array of
we have-
objects? Yeah, an array of objects is just not going to work. We completely skipped the array case. So
Yeah, we just stringify it. That will become object to object
I
then.
think it will become object object. 1, 1, 2, 2. Oh, I had a training comma. Yeah, we get object
Yeah.
object. So we need to. Well, there's 5 minutes left. Should we try and do this? We need to do something a bit more sensible here. This should be more like this. I wonder if it can just be this.
So we had this issue with the numbers list where like I think because it then comes in as like an individual numbers, which didn't work.
Yeah.
What? Test G.
Yeah, what happened there? Why have I got test G? Did I put test G? I just randomly copy and pasted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this isn't looking the greatest.
I mean,
It,
like skip the brackets and it's like fine. Like if you know arrays, you're like, oh, arrays are just objects, right?
This is true. This is true. I wonder if we could...
I don't like the brackets, but
I mean, we could always kind of leave the brackets here as like some kind of iconography to denote that this is an array. And then we could do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Right? And this is just an icon now. Look at that.
Yeah.
That looks really swish. I like that.
I think that's great for like a 5-minute solution. That's like perfect.
Yeah.
What happens when you close it? Like it just indicates like, oh, it just goes away.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's part of the yeah. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, we
And so
could,
now if you remove expanded from the index HTML and refresh this, it will just be
it'll be fully closed
A.
and we'll have to like expand each one.
yeah.
Okay.
I like that. That's really nice.
Should these properties be open by default if they're just these little if it's like I almost want to say if it's just a string, we should keep it open, and if it's just a null,
Yeah.
so this
Yeah,
way
yeah,
when you
for sure.
open one of these you already get these expanded. Thanks DNTNT.
Yeah.
I think it was surprisingly fun to follow along. I was kind of when we did the tree view stuff, I thought this might be too abstract. I thought this might cause us issues.
I've tried to do like the files before, and I've had all these like same conversations. Well, I have conversations in my head when I'm trying to figure out stuff, and so like that thing in the beginning where we're like, how are we going to structure this? Like, what's the API? Like all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not very clear, and I think it's hard to figure out. But I'm glad we just pivoted to this, and I think I'll be here tomorrow. If we want to take this further, that would be cool. Or we could do something else.
Yeah, we could look at other elements as well. I guess we'll see what the wheel picks for us next time. We pivoted on this one. Maybe we'll pivot on the next one. I should commit everything up. So I'm going to use this cool tool. This is made by a colleague of mine. His name is Chris, and it works really well.
I saw you using this in I think the first episode. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when I first wrote this tool, it would break all the time, and I'd be like, "Hey, cool, I wrote this thing," and people would be like, "It doesn't work." So I'm always scared when people show it to other people that like it's gonna break. So I was just like, "Oh, I'm so glad it didn't break."
Yeah, I mean, I remember the early days because I have this git get co-author, and that this will get you can specify a name like this, but this only uses the git history and it doesn't look at co-authored by. But what I really like about your implementation is that it queries the GitHub API for the username and for their email. Whereas this one, yours one also automatically adjusts the commit messages. So your co-authorship is there, whereas mine doesn't do that. Mine is just it spits it back out, and you have to copy and paste it. But
I think I mentioned in the README for the tool that I have in my script. It will be like if this git config is set, it will put like a little icon of a man on a computer in there. So I think about it as going in
shell prompt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Because I think about it as going into like co-working mode or co-authoring mode, and then going out of because I do a lot of pairing with you and other people, and I just wanted to be able to be like, all right, now I'm working with this person. We are co-authors on all these commits, and then I just go out of it, which is why you turn the tool on and turn it off, and you don't each time. I didn't want my flow to be any different. I just wanted to do the same commits, but the computer knows that that I'm co-working and who I'm with. And you can do this for multiple people too. You could do like Keith and DNT and as many as you want. You just space separate it
like this, and then
exactly. 100%. It's a bit slower because it
has to fetch each user. Well, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It goes through it first tries to go through the git log like it tells you. And so that should be faster, but if it can't, it makes network calls. And they're not batched or anything. It just works really well for the base case, and then it's just a bit slow for the other ones.
I mean, it's one of those great little tools that saves me a bunch of time at least.
Good, I'm glad.
We're at time. I think this was a good little component. It fit nicely and tightly into an hour. And with that, I think I'll see you all around. Bye, everyone.
Bye.